Welcome to Quiet Kitchen Diaries. I'll be your host. This is the first series of this on this channel, and let's get started. So I have tofu, shiitake mushrooms, some beef, some crushed red pepper, some gochujang, some low sodium soy sauce, watching the salt intake, some sea salt, scallions or green onions, ginger, garlic, quart of onion, and some cabbage, and sliced kimchi, and sesame oil. And that's all the ingredients you'll need for the kimchi jjigae or stew. So here I'm just cutting my onions or cutting up the things I need to start the dish. Started out with cutting onions, scallions, ginger, and garlic, and then later on I cut the cabbage. I had the meat defrosting probably for like an hour or so. I didn't even use the whole pack. I saved the rest. But yeah, so basically just cut up everything and prep for cooking. I was basically following a recipe I found on, just searching on Safari, but they didn't say to do this. Oh no, actually I found the recipe on YouTube Shorts. Yay, I was using a screenshot. But I don't like raw onions, so I didn't want to use the green onions and just put them all on top as like a garnish. So what I did was separate the top part of the green onion, which is like the real green part that could be a garnish, and then I separated the light part of the green onion. And so when the recipe calls for like adding the onions to the pot with the oil, I would add those light green parts of the green onion as well, so it cooks down and it's not like crunchy raw onions. But yeah, then I basically minced the garlic, and then I peeled the ginger with like the back of the spoon and chopped it up. The recipe did say to grate it, but I don't have a grater, so I just chopped it as small as I could. I personally like raw ginger, which raw ginger is not bad, but like I like crunchy pieces of ginger. I like pulp. I like those kind of things, like pieces of coconut and stuff. So like that doesn't bother me if it's like big chunks of ginger or garlic. The raw onions, that's just a no. Finally done with all the prepping for now until I have to prep the not lettuce, the cabbage. But yeah, so I was basically just trying to figure out how much of the beef I wanted, because I still wanted to do like some steak bites and fries. And so I was like, should I use all the steak? And I was like, no, there's gonna be tofu in it, there's gonna be beef in it, a whole bunch of cabbage. I'll be full. So yeah, seasoning it with whatever seasonings I want. So I used adobo, just bought that the other day, and then I also used garlic salt, and then I know the seasoning sauce is gonna be, because it has gochujang in it, ginger, garlic, it's gonna be really potent, so I don't want to over season the beef, so I just did basic seasoning. That's why I just stuck to those two. adding the veggies after the meat is browned. Like I said, I was gonna add the green onion, the light part, and the regular onion so they could both cook down a little bit. And then after this, I was gonna get the sauce ready, or seasoning sauce, however you call it. So that's like gochujang, soy sauce, and then the chili pepper. I didn't use gochugaru because I just bought chili pepper for it's like crushed hot pepper. It's like, I don't know, it's crushed hot pepper. I'm sure there's no real difference between like Korean crushed, maybe it's different peppers, I don't know, but I figured it's the same kind of thing, so I didn't feel the need to buy specifically gochugaru, so I did it. But it's still crushed red pepper, still spicy. And then adding in the minced, kind of sliced. It looks really big now that I'm looking at it. But yeah, added the pieces of ginger, garlic, and then I think sesame oil is added to it too. I personally don't like sesame oil too much, so I didn't add as much. I don't even remember adding it, to be honest, but I probably didn't add that much because I didn't taste it, which is good. That means I did a good job. Oh, and sugar. Didn't use a spoon, just used my hand. Yeah, probably should have. I think I went in and added more to it, to like the actual stew when it was cooking, because I was like, I feel like it should be a little sweeter, because I've never had kimchi jjigae. I've just always wanted to make it, and I've always wanted to have it, but I just never went to a restaurant and got it, because it seems to be expensive, like $17 for a whole bowl of soup and banchan dishes. It's a lot of stuff. What I wish I did was buy some like seaweed salad. I have radish kimchi, but it's a kimchi stew, so why would you eat kimchi with kimchi stew when there's already kimchi in it? That's kind of a paradox of itself. But yeah, there's a seasoning sauce made. Next is cutting cabbage, I believe. Now I really don't think I added sesame oil. Watching this back, I can't say that I did. Maybe that's why it didn't taste like sesame oil. That's funny. But I remember opening it. I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but so after all the mixing, I finally taste it, and then I give my okay of approval. And it was actually pretty good by itself. So I was like, oh, it's gonna actually slide. Like, it's gonna taste so good. But again, I didn't know how it would taste, all together. And I want the beef to be tender, which it ended up being tender, but I just didn't know how long to cook it for, so I cooked it for probably 30 minutes, I think. But yeah, so now I'm adding the kimchi. Honestly, could have did it better. I probably could have got a spoon, but I don't know why my brain was like, use the knife. So I used the knife and put it into the bowl. I didn't know how much kimchi to add. Probably should have looked at that recipe that I found on YouTube for the exact amount, but since I wasn't even making it to that scale, it didn't matter, so just went in, took a whole bunch, and if it looked right, it looked right. And then I went in and cut it as well, because I'm like, them some big pieces of kimchi. I don't want to just be eating chunks of kimchi. Look at that one piece right there. It's so big. But yeah, so I went in with scissors, cut it up, so I wouldn't have big chunks of kimchi in there. And I was gonna add regular cabbage to it too, just for extra fiber. Gotta get the fiber up. But yeah, so I did that, cut it up, and then went ahead and let it saute. Added some of that juice to give it some more flavor, and then just wait for everything to cook down. So I kept cutting and I kept cutting until I was satisfied. And then once I was satisfied, I just again let it stir fry for probably like 5 to 10 minutes. While I was watching my little YouTube video, I think I was watching Jake Johnson maybe, and then I switched to Here's the Thing. I don't remember what I was listening to at that exact moment. I'm finally cutting the lettuce or the cabbage. I rinsed it off and then cut it into little chunks. Look at me cutting it up. And I thought that I didn't know how much you're supposed to peel off cabbage. I was like, should I have kept that on? I mean, half of it was in there, so I probably could have, but I don't know. It looked a little funky, so I took it off. And then the shiitake mushrooms. So now, the issue with the shiitake mushrooms, it said on the packaging to soak it in water for like 10 minutes, pour the water out, and then add it to your dish. But I figured since I was going to add water to the dish anyways, and honestly, I wasn't even supposed to be adding mushrooms, I just couldn't find the dashi stock, and I looked up substitutes for dashi stock, and it said shiitake mushrooms, so I was like, why not? But I added them, and I figured if I added the water, it would kind of be like a mushroom broth, and that way that would be my substitute broth, for the dashi broth. In theory, I wouldn't know if it messed up the flavor because, again, this is my first time trying it and making it. So, in my head, it tastes fine. In my head, it worked. I'm sorry if that's not how you're supposed to do it. But now I'm going ahead and adding everything in, the last little bits and pieces in. I didn't cook the beef all the way because I didn't want it to be really tough. So it's gonna do the rest of its cooking inside the soup or stew. Sorry. Just stirring it up. Oh, like where did I get that spoon from? That was from the seasoning sauce. Yeah. So just let it boil and let it boil, let it boil, and then I had the idea to add like a little corn cheese moment on the side. So like in it, while it was cooking, I added like just some corn and then sprinkled some vegan cheese on top, and just to add a little flair, a little pizzazz. There it is right there. I added the cabbage, added the green onions, the green ones, and then some sesame seeds just to let it boil. And as it was cooking, the cheese melted, as you can see in that little corner. I added the tofu too, and I was like, okay, this actually tastes, it's actually quite good. And here's the final dish. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and subscribe and like.